Iman Gadzhi is one of the youngest, most famous and successful entrepreneurs of probably the last decades. And today I want to share with you what are some of the most important things I've learned from him as an entrepreneur and especially as a salesperson. Because even though Iman Gadzhi is known for his social media marketing agency, Info Products, and his famous YouTube brand, there are, so he profiles mainly as a marketer, as an entrepreneur. There's a lot of things that apply to us as salespeople as well, because even though he's not naturally just a salesperson by nature, a lot of the ideas of his entrepreneurship and of his marketing apply to us directly as salespeople. So the main thing I learned from Iman Gadzhi as a salesperson, it's also something that actually I've learned from Alex Hormozi. So let me give you a quick scenario. Let's imagine that you're selling a bottle of water in the middle of a city that's priced $100. Now, if you're in the middle of a city, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be angry and not want to pay $100 for your general bottle of water, unless there's something very unique about it, right? It's a reason for them to give you $100. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. Now, let's take a little bit of a different scenario where you're selling the same general bottle of water priced at $100, but you're selling it in the middle of a desert with everyone there is thirsty and you're the only one selling a bottle of water. A lot of people are probably going to want to pay $100 to get rid of their thirst and to quench their thirst with your bottle of water. So this scenario is powerful to demonstrate how offer and product market fit is actually very, very strong and much stronger than just your raw sales or persuasion ability, right? Because no matter how good you can persuade, you're probably not going to persuade anyone in the middle of a city to buy a bottle of water priced at $100. But in the middle of a desert, it's an entirely different story. So this is why, as a salesperson, I think some salespeople tend to look a little bit negatively upon marketing because it's more of an introverted thing. But if we don't have this strategy, then no matter how good you are at persuasion or no matter how good you are at socializing, you're probably still going to have a low success rate if your product market fit and your strategy doesn't make sense, if your offer doesn't make sense. So that's why if you're watching, you're probably not just a salesperson, you're probably also an entrepreneur. So you also need to have an entrepreneurial mindset if you want to be successful at sales. So that's why you need to have a little bit of the foundations of marketing as well. Again, if you don't have product market fit, then you're not going to be able to persuade people to buy your products. So that's very important. You want to have the right strategy for selling, right? It's not just about social skills. So Alex Hormozi said this as well, but yeah, it's something that you can't just rely on your persuasion skills. If you're selling and you're a high-ticket salesperson working for someone else's business, then probably you don't have the power to change your offer. But if you're an entrepreneur, then you can do that. So something that you can then do to just improve your success rate beyond just persuasion or social skills is to actually work on your offer. And you do that by being present in your cold calls and in your sales meetings, because now you can listen to the pain points that people have, the problems that people have, and you can tailor your offer to that, right? So if you find out that people have a problem X in their business that your offer currently doesn't solve, well, maybe it's a good idea to integrate that into your offer so that it makes it more attractive for people. Because now you're not just selling you're not just selling your social leadership and your social presence, you're actually selling an offer that makes sense for them. And that's always going to be more powerful than raw persuasion itself. So That's important to understand. That offer prioritizes first before social skills and raw persuasion. So if you do have your business, you can work on that already. If you don't, then you can have that ideas to work on your offer eventually. Or if you're working with your owner as a salesperson, then perhaps you can negotiate a little bit about the offer if he's willing to receive advice, or you know how to negotiate and make them listen to your advice, because maybe they need to change the offer if they want to have a better success rate, right? So again, you can learn this from Iman Gadzhi, because naturally he's not a great salesperson. He knows like the basics of selling, but beyond that, mainly he found his success because he's a very successful marketer and he's a very successful entrepreneur. And so he didn't really need to be hyper persuasive in order to do that. And you don't need to either, unless of course you want that, right? And that's probably why you're here as well, because me personally, I want to grow as an entrepreneur, I want to grow as a marketer, but my passion personally is like sales. So I do want that persuasion ability, because I know, yes, the strategy needs to make sense, and yes, the offer needs to make sense, but we want to, if we can learn how to develop our personalities, and we can learn how to improve our social skills, to connect better with prospects, with people in general, that's also going to help you, it's going to improve your skills in like, managing your employees or your contractors later on, right? So that's why, there's a branch of people. Some people are like people, then you have people who are like analytical people. And you can find success in both ways. But in entrepreneurship, oftentimes, like if you really want to if you want to really become really successful, it's a lot of people skills, all right? And so even Iman Gadzhi, he needs to learn how to lead teams and be good with people in general, right? Because even though he's a good marketer, he still needs the people skills. And even Elon Musk, even though he has like a very good analytical mind, he still needs to find a way to pitch to investors and relate to his partners and lead his teams, right? So people skills are still very, very important in entrepreneurship. And that's, I think, the main edge that sales gives you beyond just a raw persuasion ability. But again, it's not just all about persuasion. It's also a lot about your offer and strategy. So that was the video for today. I know there's like a silly guy that came here. I don't know, I just kind of like ignored him. Maybe I shouldn't have done it, I don't know. But yes, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any ideas, comments, or things you want to share. Feel free to check out my next video as well. And I'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a good one. Cheers.